Hi everyone, today we're going to talk about Spectra breast pumps. I have used 3 Spectra breast pumps, the S1, the S2, and the S9, and I just wanted to share a little bit of my thoughts about them and comparison of them. The 2 main ones that most people talk about are the S1 and the S2. The S1 is blue, the S2 is pink. Other than that, there's not too much difference with how they look on a physical level. They both have the bottle holder here in the back. They both have the same buttons, the same plug-in place, same handle, same light, 2 settings on the light. Everything is pretty much the same. I have mine Medela hacked. So, and actually I have connectors, so it's not technically hacked, but I kind of additionally hacked it. There is a problem with the tubing staying on the ends of the backflow protectors. So I put a little piece of Medela tubing in there and it keeps it a lot more snug. And then I have the Medela connectors. Now, if you don't want to actually buy the connectors, which are like $6, so you totally should, but you can then put the Medela tubing pieces on the end here and use them with the tubes, all that kind of stuff. There's information online on how to do that. I used to do that, but then I just got the connectors. Backflow protectors make these hospital grade. They call that because the milk cannot flow back into the tubes and get into the pump. So that's just what hospital grade means in this sense of the word. And these are a bit of a pain. They get condensation in them and you have to dry them out and wash them out, and it's kind of a pain, but I do like that moisture does not get in the tubes. I hated that with Medela. My tubes had so much condensation in them, it was ridiculous. So I do appreciate the backflow protectors for that, but you do have to replace them. I actually just replaced these. These are not the original ones. These are the, I believe they're either May Mom or Nene Supply. I can't remember which one I got, but that's how I have them set up. The biggest thing about the S1 is that it is rechargeable and can work not plugged in. Yes. It has the power button. You have this is expression mode, and then it goes into massage mode. You have your vacuum settings, which is up to 5 on massage mode, and up to 10 or 12 on expression mode, although I would never use it that high, guys. I know some people do, but yikes. My personal settings, I do turn it on and put it on to massage mode, and I move up about 1 a minute from 1 all the way up to 5, and then about 5 minutes in I will switch over to 6 on the expression mode, and I always leave it on cycle 38 because the long pulls seem to be the most effective for me. That's my settings, but everybody is going to be different. You have to figure it out for yourself. Cycle buttons go up here. It goes up to 54 for cycles, but I always leave it at 38, the lowest. It also has 2 settings of light over here, which are really awesome. It comes up there on the top, which is really neat. I absolutely love that it's rechargeable. I usually charge it at night and then it's ready to go in the morning. Of course, it depends on, I'm an exclusive pumper, so I use it for 4 or 5 hours a day, whereas most people don't necessarily do that, and you may only need to charge it every couple of days. It says it has about 3 hours of charge time, but I find it works for a lot longer than 3 hours. So the lifetime of the motor on this pump does seem to say that it's lower. They say after 300 charges that the motor kind of gives way. So for an exclusive pumper like me, that would basically be I'd have to replace it every year, which, you know, getting a new pump every year isn't a huge deal, but it's kind of nice if they last longer than that. But that is just what the manual says. I don't actually have experience in that. This is only about 6 months old for me, so it's still going strong so far. The S2 was my first Spectra, and so the same, I have all my tubings hacked up because they would always fall off and it would drive me nuts. Over here is where you plug it in. It just has its regular cord. I hated having to be stuck to a cord, to a plug, a wall plug, and While it is cheaper than the S1, the prices are always changing on Amazon, but it is significantly cheaper. It's like, I think this was about $60 cheaper for me. I would totally pay the extra money for the S1 because I hate the plug. This is my backup pump now. I use it when I go places sometimes and don't want to deal with the charger, or just as my extra backup pump. I almost never use it. So its settings are exactly the same as the S1, but people always ask S1 or S2. Well, it depends on what you value. If you're sitting at work and you don't have to move, this would be totally fine. But if you need to move around your house, I love being able to just walk around the house and not be stuck to the plug. The S1 is definitely the way to go. Of course, the most portable option is the S9, which is actually extremely difficult to get your hands on. I'm not sure if they quit making it or what, but this is the S9. I actually recently just sold mine because I used it less than 4 times in a year. And what good is it doing me? I know a lot of people who absolutely love theirs, but it just did not work for me, and I just hated it. It was very nifty. It had great features. It worked, just fine. It just didn't work for me. And I noticed that it just felt a lot different than the S1 and S2. It didn't feel like it vibrated as much, which I really prefer that feature with Spectra versus the pulling of the Medela. It felt more Medela-ish to me. Most people don't say that, but for me, that's how it felt. It didn't feel, in a way, it felt like the suction was too low, but it also felt like it was too high. And I don't know why that was. It was weird for me. I did like that it was rechargeable and that it was so small in pocket size. I could just take it anywhere. I tried it with the Freemie cups. The Freemie cups also did not work for me, so that may have been part of the problem. But I also tried it with just regular flanges, and I found that it just took so much longer to get the same output that I would get from the S1 and S2. So it just wasn't worth it for me. I used it a few times in the car, and that was it. I couldn't do it. It had no value like that to me. But again, don't necessarily take my word for it. There are plenty of people who absolutely love it and think it is a great option. So it really depends on you. So those are the basic features of the S1, S2, and S9. I have very little bad things to say about the S1 and S2. I love them. I love them so much. I would not be exclusively pumping if it were not for them. I really don't have anything bad to say. I personally don't like the Spectra parts and bottles. I preferred my Medela parts and bottles. I use the Medela connectors. I use duckbills and then the Medela bottles. And I use Pump and Pals flanges. Forgot to mention that as well. So I really like using the interchangeable parts like that instead of the Spectra one piece. I'm not a fan of the one piece at all. But that's my thoughts on the Spectra. I am a Spectra fan for life, for sure. If you have any questions, please leave them below. I would love to answer them. If you have a Spectra at home, let me know what your favorite feature of it is. And if you have not tried Spectra, let me know what sounds most intriguing about one for you. Leave that in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching, and be sure to hit that subscribe button. We do videos on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on mommy, baby, pumping, home, all kinds of things like that. Thank you again for watching, and we will see you next time.